Thank you so much for tuning into Culture Fix. Today I am joined by country music sensation Chase Matthew, who is about to hit the road very, very soon in the UK and Europe. Chase has some incredible hits to his name, the brilliant Love You Again and Darling. And now you've got a whole album of new material, which I think we're going to hear on the road, called Chase. So, Chase, thanks so much for joining me. It's a real pleasure to chat.
Yeah, thank you for having me on Culture Fix. I think first off, thank you for all the nice, kind words right out of the gate. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm very excited to get out on the road and come see you guys and play new songs. And I've never been over there, so I'm really excited to see what it's all about. A lot of people say really good things about it.
Good. Well, I mean, I'm sure you're going to have a lot to look forward to because, it's going to be a whole new audience seeing you live for the first time. Is that quite pressured? Because obviously you've got all these new eyes on you.
Yeah, I would say a part of me is a little nervous, but we're going to give it all we got, and that's the only choice we have, and that's the choice we're going to make. And so, but I think I'm very, I know it's going to be a really wild, exciting feeling to hear people so far away from home singing my songs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the
So
nice
I'm
thing, I
looking forward.
guess, is the album's been out now for like a week, so people have had time to kind of get to know that and listen to the songs and know the songs. So hopefully when you get there, people are going to be like, I love this one, this is my favorite. So they'll know the music.
Yeah, I think that'll be really cool. The album's been out for a week now, and we've really seen a growth and just interest in it. And so it's been a really cool. I think probably the coolest ever since I haven't been this excited about an album since my first one. So to see so many people excited about this third album and just knowing how much effort me and the team put into the whole thing, we're really seeing it pay off right now. So I'm excited to play some new songs for y'all.
Yeah. Well, let's think about the album because obviously it's your first self-titled album as well, which is, I guess as an artist, there must be a point where you're like, I'm going to do an album and I'm going to self-title it. Why was this the time to call it Chase?
I think it was a cool way to self-title it without it being Chase Matthew, right? And I feel like I have a cool name. I think Chase is a cool word, and there's so many things you can add around it. Chase your dreams and or chase anything. We're all chasing something. So I think that it's going to be part of my brand this year, and I'm going to push that a lot really hard. And I want people to know when they're thinking of country music and you hear the word Chase, you know which Chase we're thinking of. It's Chase Matthew, man. That's it.
Yeah, I like that. Well, the album is like it's a kind of snapshot, I would say, of like the best of modern country. Like you've got a real mix of styles. There's a bit of upbeat stuff, like No Way Around It. You've got a little bit of trap country, like I Don't Want to Know, and obviously like quite personal ballads, like Driving Through My Hometown. Is it tough to get that mix spot on? Like because obviously you want to kind of show your full range as an artist and your styles. Is it quite tough to go, right? Like, how do we balance this?
Yeah, I think what's so cool about what I do, like, is I kind of just, I'm a fan for good music, right? Like, I don't ever like to put anything in a box, which I think is also cool because people don't ever know what to expect. And it leaves this suspense, with the fan base, which is cool because there's a lot of people, I feel like the majority of people in the world listen to all different types of music. The majority listens to all different types of music. And so to show a little bit, of some, pieces of rap music in this, and then a little more rock and roll in this is really cool. And I think that just screams Chase.
Yeah. It's great. And I think, really listening to it loads of times over the week, it just kind of sinks in and gets better and better. So, yeah, really encourage everyone before the gigs, listen to the album as many times as possible.
I love that. I could tell you've studied it a little bit by the way you were describing it. So thank you for jamming out, Andrew. I appreciate it.
I've done my homework, yeah. Um, who would you say are the kind of the artists that have like inspired you the most? Because obviously we spoke about there's lots of styles in there and it's like it's very chase. Who are the people that have kind of contributed to that?
Yeah, I think I grew up different than a lot of people. I had rock and roll aspects, but I also had contemporary Christian music, and so I was always in between this, being proud of where you came from, and the hard rock and roll and the God fearing music, and so I think somewhere in between that I kind of paved my way, and I've listened to a lot of Jason Aldean growing up, and like I said, Nickelback, and like the everything in between really. And so I've even got some rap aspects that you could apply to me as well. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of influence that went into this.
Yeah. Well, you kind of blew my mind because I was looking and I saw that you'd performed 145 shows last year. Like that's mad. It was probably more than that because I think I said
I
145
do think
plus.
I think it was more. Yeah, I think it was more. We stopped counting. We're counting this year. So
Yeah.
which this year will probably be a little less, but excuse me. But I think that after all the acoustic shows I did as well and radio shows, it was every bit of 145, if not more.
That's like, pretty much every second day that's a show. How do you keep the energy levels up? Because I know it's obviously a passion, but it must be tiring.
Definitely tiring. You do 145 shows, but they don't talk about the days in between where you're traveling, and you're, doing everything you can to stay healthy, eat healthy, and keep your mental, trying to remember what day it is,
Yeah.
But I think that comes with the job, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's a whole lot better than being an ATV mechanic working on stuff and busting knuckles. You know it.
Yeah, like I think there is always a sense of like whenever I'm at a gig and the artist doesn't mention what city they're in, you're like, do they know? Do they know where they are?
Yeah, it's a reality. It's weird because you can be in perfect sanity, but not know where you are. It's the weirdest thing ever.
So obviously you mentioned like trying to eat right, trying to kind of stay fit. Is there anything else that kind of keeps you sane on the road?
Yeah, like for example, right here, look, I got a meal prep right here, and so I try to like portion out things a little better now to try and to stay in shape and I spend a lot of time on stage running around and just being energetic, so I kind of have to do my best to eat a little better, and I'm trying to do that better this year too, and I think that like there's also another thing people don't talk about is the aspect of like sleep is a big deal, and you sometimes you spend some time, I guess celebrating is an easy way to say it. So yeah, I'm going to do a little less celebrating this year and a little more time just maintaining what I want to do this year.
Yeah. I think even as like someone that goes to watch a show, you leave and you can't sleep because you're still on the high. So for the
Yes.
artist, it must be another level.
You definitely spend a lot of time with blackout curtains and trying to sleep during the daytime, making up for it. Because, yeah, that adrenaline high keeps you awake for sure.
Well, speaking of adrenaline highs, the performance at the Ryman Auditorium must have been an incredible milestone in your career.
Man, I'm still high from that one. I'm still high. We're a week away from it, and I'm still, just kind of like, wow, what a monumental, dream venue to play, and sold it out, man, in my hometown, and it was just a ride that I think you cannot replicate in a way with anything else. So it's it was definitely cool. We had a lot of production and had family come out and sing, and I come from a musical family, so it was great to showcase that there.
Yeah, and obviously growing up in Tennessee, that must have, do you think that kind of led to the career in music? Do you think if you maybe lived in another city, you may have gone down a different path?
I think my inspiration for creating music came from my family because my mom and dad and even my grandparents, like we've always, if this was our house, right, which this is my house, there would be a guitar, within it or some sort of instrument within 15 foot of you. For example, there's three guitars right there in the boxes. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
it's definitely kind of that's where it came from. But I think being in Music City my whole life has definitely yeah, it's probably played a role in that. I think it definitely helped. Yeah, being able to, go down there and make those connections.
Yeah. And I suppose you've probably got more access to all this great country music around you than maybe people in, different states.
Yes, definitely do. I would, and I'm not blind to it. I'm definitely blessed and grateful and, not blind that I had an opportunity that a lot of people didn't. I understand now why people move to Nashville, and it's so wild though, because when you grow up here, you wouldn't believe how many people live here that don't realize not every town has a Broadway. People think every state, every big city's got a Broadway with live music. No, they
Yeah,
don't. And I didn't realize that until I started touring, and that blew my mind. That was when it all set in. Like, wow, man, you were really born for this.
yeah, very amazing. Um, I need to ask as well, something exciting coming up is obviously you're hitting the road with Keith Urban. You've kind of filmed some promos with him as well already. Have you had the chance to kind of pick his brain and kind of get some advice and get some tips from him about the kind of the industry and kind of the longevity aspect?
Yeah, I haven't got much one-on-one time with him, but I do. The day that we went and filmed those liners for the tour was the first time we ever really got to connect, and it was cool, man. He's a really cool guy. He's into cars like me, and all that. So we're gonna definitely talk more about that, I'm sure. But um, finding out that I'm going on tour with Keith Urban was crazy, and so if there's anything to learn from him, all you got to do is watch his live show. The dude is an absolute rock star. So I can't wait to share the stage with him and get out there and play those big stages with him, man. I can't wait to get to Australia and just see places I've never seen before.
Yeah, and obviously the Australians love Keith, so that'll be wild.
Yes.
Um, do you have any kind of expectations of what to expect from like the UK and Europe, or is it a bit of a blank canvas for you?
I think I'm trying to leave it as a blank canvas because, I don't want to have expectations and be let down, but I'm pretty sure you guys are going to exceed every expectation that I've ever had. So everyone rants and raves about, hey man, there's some diehard fans over there, man. You better get ready. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. But now everyone's saying it and I'm like, oh Lord, this is going to be wild.
Yeah, you're going to need the blackout curtains, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it starts on Monday, am I right? So we're now on Friday. You've got the weekend. There's a weekend of travel for you.
Yes, a long weekend of travel, but I think it's going to be well worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know I'll hopefully be seeing you in Glasgow, and the Glasgow fans are quite wild. So just brace yourself for that.
I love it. I'm excited. So you will be in Glasgow.
Yeah, yeah, hopefully, yeah,
Okay, great. Then we definitely got to see each other. We definitely got to link up and meet.
yeah, that'd be great. Um, Obviously, we need to kind of think as well about first kind of hearing your music on the radio because that must be quite a mad thing. And I know obviously you're getting lots and lots more radio play with the new album, which is amazing. So how would you describe that moment of first sitting there and just hearing your voice being broadcast to millions?
Yeah, well, growing up around here, we would have our bonfires and our field parties. We would have country radio on. We would just have it playing, and whatever played is what we were listening to. And part of me always dreamed of being able to hear myself on there one day. And I think there was some self doubt that thought, you'll never make it there. But now that we've done it, and I get videos from my friends, in different states, even, and they're hearing it across the world. It's crazy, man. It's a feeling of accomplishment, but also like just gratitude. I have to pat myself on the back sometimes, and that's one of them that I'm proud of myself for as well. I have a great team, and they put in a lot of work, but so do I. And so we spend a lot of time telling each other how good we've done.
Well, I mean, you just need to look at the number of shows, the music you're putting out. It must be really rewarding to actually think, okay, all this hard work is paying off and people are hearing it and people are streaming it, people are coming to the gigs. So yeah, it must be really nice.
It's a weird feeling, man, but it's awesome to see it paying off, and just extremely happy to see where the future goes.
Well, you've been hitting some big milestones career-wise, with like your kind of your shows and your music. What is there any kind of goals that you're still aspiring to achieve?
Yeah, I want to get 1 million followers on Instagram. So I'm working on that. I just hit 1 million followers on TikTok last week, so that was fun. That's awesome. But I think, outside of like the numbers, I want to buy my own farm, man. I want to like, start planting roots for myself for my future but also, career wise, I want I want to sell out, some big venues. I want to go play O2 Arena one day. I want to go do all that stuff. And so, yeah, there's quite a few of them and I'm writing them as they come.
Nice. Well, I think the farm sounds good. You need that kind of calm place to go when you're kind of not performing. Nice kind of balance.
Yeah, definitely a quiet place that I can, go out there and just kind of be myself.
Amazing. And where can people follow you online?
Yeah, anywhere there's social media accounts, pretty much all of mine are at I am Chase Matthew, and
Nice.
so they're all verified. And if they're not, then it's not me.
Don't send money.
Yeah, there's a lot of fake accounts. Don't
Yeah.
fall for it.
Yeah. Well, Chase, it's honestly been really nice catching up and really excited to see you in Glasgow. Hope the travel goes well. Hope the show on Monday goes well. And yeah, thanks again.
Thank you, Andrew. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, and rest up.
Yes, sir.
Right. See you later. Bye.
See ya.